A $100 flight versus a $20,000 flight. Two passengers, the same sky, but two completely separate experiences. Find out the difference on today's episode of The Infographic Show. Tom races through the airport looking for the Spirit terminal. He wasn't expecting to be flying to Chicago today, but that's what happens when your cousin decides to get married on a whim. The old bank account wasn't looking great this month to begin with, and the wedding gift just about wiped him out, so it was down to finding the cheapest flight possible. Thankfully, Spirit Airlines delivered, promising him a ticket from Newark to Chicago for just under $100 each way. It almost seemed too good to be true. Probably because it is. He's only going to be there for 2 days, so he's packed light, stuffing everything he needs into one oversized carry-on. At least he won't have to check his bags. The short-term booking didn't give him too many options, so he's just ready to take whatever he can get. At least Spirit will get him there quick and easy and hopefully on time. But as he approaches the terminal, he gets the first unpleasant surprise, a delayed sign right over his flight. At least he won't have to worry about the line to get through TSA. Simon isn't in a hurry. He's not traveling for a family matter, he's traveling for business. His boss is sending him to Abu Dhabi to close a deal with a high-ranking client. That means a flight on Etihad Airways, one of the most luxurious airlines in the world, flying direct from JFK in New York to Abu Dhabi. Simon is about to taste the high life. The client must like his potential business partners because he is about to fly first class. A remarkable experience that can typically cost up to $20,000 for a one-way ticket. But it's not Simon's money. Of course, there are some equalizers. No matter who you are or where you're flying, you've got to clear security. For Tom, that means queuing with everyday travelers, everyone from nervous first-timers to seasoned frequent flyers. He goes through the usual routine, emptying his pockets and taking off his shoes and having his baggage scanned. Eventually, he's able to collect his things back and then make his way over to the gate. He'll have a long wait. The flight is now 2 hours late, but that should still give him plenty of time to make the wedding. Of course, living the high life has its advantages. Everyone has to go through security, but not everyone goes through the same way. Etihad has a dedicated security line at most of its key hubs, and first-class passengers can often bypass the crowds and have their bags scanned with little wait. In this case, Simon feels like the security team is just a little nicer as they guide him through the metal detector. TSA security will never be a pleasant experience, but the employees know when you are a high roller, and they may give you a taste of it before you even head to the gate. And that is just the start of the differences. Thankfully, Tom's flight is only delayed, not canceled, so he has some time to explore the terminal. Spirit flies out of a large terminal that it shares with several other airlines, and that means that everyone gets access to a large collection of stores, fast food, and restaurants. There is just one problem. Everything is at airport prices, and that adds up fast. He decides to pass on the $25 burger and instead picks up a bagel and a soda at a breakfast place for $8 combined. A relative bargain in this captive audience emporium, but Simon, he isn't going to be pinching pennies. Heading to the International Departures Terminal, Simon blows right by the restaurants to his destination, the Etihad Airways Lounge. Inside, there are dozens of private spots to relax, work, or take in the complimentary food and beverages on offer. There's even a full-service restaurant offering a wide selection of international cuisine, and amazingly, it is all free, or at least it's included in the hefty price of a first-class ticket. It's a good place to wait, which is more than Tom can say. For a Spirit Airlines flyer on a $100 ticket, there are two options: wait by the gate or wander around until your gate is called. Tom doesn't have an assigned seat, so he opts to just stay put and get some gateside entertainment. The young woman next to him is on her phone, and he gets to pick up all the drama of her sister's failed romance. Meanwhile, a hyperactive 6-year-old on the other side has recently discovered how fun it is to just say the word fart. But the unpleasant surprises are just starting. Tom's boarding group is called after what seems like an eternity. The ticket agent prompts him to measure his duffel bag, and sure enough, it exceeds the size for a personal item. This classifies as a carry-on bag, and Tom is then informed that it'll be an additional $55. With no other option, Tom agrees, and it's added to his bill. So much for a $100 fare. But this will be a common thing. One of the most regular complaints about Spirit is that they'll get you with the additional fees, something Simon definitely doesn't have to worry about. Before Simon even gets to his gate, he is met with agents from the airline who offer to take his suitcase and check it. Etihad is famous for its care with the luggage, especially for its first-class passengers. He'll be keeping his carry-on and briefcase with him, and he'll have ample space to keep it on the plane because he's not going to his seat. He's going to his suite. And that is one of the biggest surprises of first class on Etihad Airways. Their first-class passengers, the most elite travelers, actually stay in something more resembling a tiny apartment for the duration of their flight. Simon could get used to this. Soon he's looking at a classy beige cabin with an armchair, a bench, and controllable window blinds. The bench expands into a full-length bed. The room is also equipped with a storage box, a drawer, and even a mini bar stocked with beverages. This is where Simon will be relaxing, working, eating, and sleeping for the next 14 hours. That's something Tom can only dream of. Tom didn't spend any money to secure his seat on this airplane, so he's at the mercy of the system. Thankfully, almost everyone else on the flight passed on the extra fees for seat selection as well, so there is a chance. Tom is ultimately assigned to an aisle seat near the back, which means he should at least have easy access to the restroom. He heads to his seat and he is soon joined by his seatmate, a large man who immediately strikes up a conversation about those bums in Washington. It's gonna be a long 3 hours. That bagel really isn't filling Tom up much, so he's looking forward to something to eat on board. He's already resigned to the fact that he's gonna have to pay for it, like everything else on this airline. While some frequent flyers and higher status passengers are eligible for complimentary food and drink, most passengers get nothing, not even the traditional half a cup of soda and a packaged cookie. The cart will pass by offering snacks, but the only way to get them is with cashless payments. Tom surrenders and orders a can of Sprite and a bag of pretzels. He doesn't want to know how much it'll be. That's a problem for tomorrow, Tom. But the cost of snacks is the last thing that Simon is worried about. Simon has been in first class for about an hour and he is still discovering amenities. There's a complimentary kit containing skincare products, socks, and toothpaste, and the pouch that it comes in is designed by Armani. He even gets a complimentary pair of pajamas and slippers. He's busy typing away on his laptop on the convenient ottoman when he's interrupted by the staff. It's time for lunch. Airplane food has been a joke for decades, but this isn't it. This is a Michelin-level experience. Lunch starts with a selection of savory pastries, followed by a caviar service, an individual tin of sturgeon caviar with the classic accompaniments. This is followed by a soup course, a sorbet as a palate cleanser, and a rich and savory rice pilaf topped with lamb. There's a complex dessert after that, a chocolate cake accompanied by pistachios, cream, and fresh fruit. And it all comes together into one of the most indulgent meals that Simon has ever enjoyed. And it is just Act 1. The pleasures are just beginning. For Tom, the 3-hour flight feels like a drag. The seat is cramped, the legroom non-existent, and he's a tall man, so he is banging his head every time he stands up, which is more often than he'd like, given how many times his seatmate has needed to use the bathroom. Eventually, that can of soda starts making its presence known in his bladder, so he needs to brave the terror of the airplane restrooms as well. And it doesn't smell great. So he braces himself against the wall as he goes number 1, hoping that the turbulence won't cause any unpleasant spillages. At least the toilet flushes. Over on the Etihad flight, Simon is in for one more surprise as he heads to his restroom. While the cabin doesn't just have a private bathroom, each first-class cabin contains 2 private restrooms. One is just a toilet and the other contains a shower, offering 30 minutes access and 5 minutes of running water for a quick freshening up. Technically, it can be started and stopped as many times as he'd like, but Simon doesn't want to keep people waiting. Besides, not even Etihad is immune to the risk of turbulence, so he is in and out of the hot shower and back to his flat-screen TV for entertainment before dinner, while Tom is just trying to stay sane. Entertainment options are limited on Spirit flights. There is no built-in seat-back screens for watching TV or movies. The flights do have Wi-Fi, albeit not the most reliable. The relatively short length of the flight means that Tom didn't even bother to download any episodes for airplane mode. But the Wi-Fi at least allows him to keep up on his emails, which are mostly about his cousin freaking out that she wasn't able to get her ideal dress on a few days' notice. At least the group chat is entertaining. Dinner for Tom will be on the ground, but that is not the case for Simon. The much longer flight on Etihad is flying by, and before Simon knows it, it's time for dinner. If lunch was impressive, this one is even more so. It's composed of a plate right out of a steakhouse, a filet mignon with an artfully displayed stack of thick-cut fries, a tomato accompaniment, and a box of chocolates to finish the meal. In the Middle East, lunch is often the largest meal of the day, which was why the first meal was so over the top. But this one makes up for the smaller selection with a taste of pure luxury. And now it's time to bed down. Simon folds out the bench into a comfortable, oversized bed and pulls out the designer blankets that come with the suite. He's not tired yet. He was never really one to sleep on planes, but this is hands down the most appealing in-flight experience he's ever had. He tunes into some episodes of his favorite comedy before falling asleep. For Tom, the chance of sleep is looking less likely by the minute. He got up at 5 a.m. to rush to the airport, but he is not catching any shut-eye now. A kid 3 rows up won't stop yelling about skibbity toilet, the flight attendants are gossiping in the back, and every jolt of turbulence makes sleep feel like a distant fantasy. Soon enough, the seatbelt lights come on and the pilot announces they'll be descending soon. His seatmate makes another inappropriate comment about Chicago, and then the most stressful part of the flight begins. It's disembarking, but it might as well be the Thunderdome. When a Spirit Airlines flight lands, everyone jumps up and starts getting their bags from the overhead compartment. Like everyone else in the back, Tom is at the mercy of the people in front of him, most of whom seem to be struggling to prise their hard carry-ons out of the locker. It's going to be a long, cramped wait to get out into the Windy City, and in a few days he gets to do it all over again. The experience couldn't be more different up to the last minute. Simon is alerted by a beeping sound that the flight will be landing in a short time. He's met by one of the first-class flight attendants who checks to see if he needs anything. He's given plenty of time to collect anything he needs from his room, both his personal belongings and his many swag bag items that came with the ride of a lifetime. After all, when you are in Abu Dhabi as a business guest, you live the high life, and it starts well before you even hit the ground. Because whether you're flying luxury or bare bones, both airlines deliver exactly what you pay for, at least most of the time, because that $100 flight might feel like a discount flight, but it probably won't cost $100 at the end of the day. Now go check out Doing This at an Airport Will Land You in Prison, or click on this video instead.